excited to actually have figured this out. I'm going to wait just a few minutes. I'm a little early, which is a good problem. I'm going to get my microphone on. I didn't do that earlier. It is good to be live and have figured out how to do a live. I'm excited about that. I'm hoping that I've got some more joining me here soon. And I'm going to see if I can't follow along with any comments that might come through. If you are joining me live, this is my online class for the Happiest Day stamp set. I've got a number of projects, 4 of them specifically, that I have planned that I think are fun and simple, show some really cool techniques, and anyway, I'm excited to share them with you. I'm going to wait just a couple more minutes just because I'm a little ahead of time. What I'm going to do, because I'm going to be recording this and it's going to be on my YouTube channel as well, so that you can watch it at any time, whether that's on Facebook or whether that's on my YouTube channel. So you'll be able to find it both places. I also email this to all of my email subscribers. And so if you're not currently subscribed to my email list, you can go to my blog, justtalittleinc.com, and there's a pop-up that will allow you to sign up for my email list. It's the easiest way. But I also will link it into my YouTube, and I will put a link actually even down into this event so that you can choose to subscribe to that as well. And that gets you all the latest updates with any classes I'm doing, any specials and events that Stampin' Up! Is doing that you could take a part of. So with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera and make sure I've got all the stuff here that I've got going on. I want to make sure to point out at the beginning, and I'll say something at the end, hopefully I'll remember, that I've got online classes scheduled for the 4th Thursday at 2 p.m. Arizona time every month through October. I'm hoping that that will continue. November, December might be different time periods, but I am hoping to continue doing these free online classes. They are free and online. Anyone can watch them. To get the project packet, I'm going to kind of show just a few things here. So, and I'll bring this up again as well, but in order to get the project packet that has all of the cut supplies, anything that's punched or die cut, all of the cards, including the envelopes, at least for now, mailed to you, you need to place an online order through my online store, justtalittleinc.stampinup.net. I do have links in my Facebook page, Just a Little Ink, and you need to spend $35 for me to send this, and it doesn't have to be any of the products I'm using, though that is a great way for you to take part of any of it. But you do need to spend $35, and you need to use my current host code, which I have listed here. It's hard to read it. I'll also have that. It's listed in a number of places on my Facebook page, and it will be in the details of the video. And that order needs to be placed by July 5th. So you have some time to do that. Some of the advantage of that is that right now, I'm going to talk about one of the specials going on. Right now, there is a 10% off, an additional 10% off on any of our die cut bundles that are available to you to order. And that's in addition to the already 10% off. And so it's kind of an awesome deal. And so there's some great things going on. I'm going to pull this out of the way. I'm going to pull my little sheet out of the way. But I'm going to kind of talk through the stamp set. So it can be found on page 99 of the catalog, and I think it is like one of the best stamp sets from this new catalog that Stampin' Up! Came up with. It was on my wish list. It should be on yours if it isn't. It's just a nice general all occasion kind of stamp set. It's got a birthday greeting, just some other fun things, definitely some congratulations, but it's just fun. And I think almost any age, and definitely just so many different people could use this stamp set. So I'm going to show you quickly the projects we're going to make. At first, I'm going to start with a note card and a coordinating envelope. Our note cards and envelopes, you can buy them. They're 20 to a package. Great deal. They are mailable, so you can mail that. It's an awesome, awesome deal. And there also are, the next card we're doing is just a regular card. Got some fun details with some embossing. I have to grab my machine. Didn't grab that out, but we will grab it. And I've got another fun one here. I've got some fun techniques with all of these different cards. Simple techniques, but I think you'll love them all. So let's put them here and get them away. I'm going to grab my machine in a few minutes. Let's see if anyone jumps on. And I've got this just here as a blotter. I kind of like that here. So we're going to start. I didn't mention as the beginning of this, but I do put together tutorials for each of the projects that I'm making, and I send this an email if you order from my online store. That $35, you can spend more, but you need to at least send $35. This gets emailed to you so that you'll have access to all of the step-by-step instructions, in addition to being able to go back and review this video. So I'm going to pull out all my projects here, kind of keep an eye on my comments. So note cards and envelopes come pre-scored and with the envelope. And so you get, again, 20 of each of these. These are our basic white. They're the basic white thick. And so I'm going to go ahead. It's already been scored. I have a tendency to go ahead and score it again, just because for me, I think it needs a little deeper score. But they will fold without you needing to do that, which is kind of fun. They're already cut, which is another advantage. And so I'm going to take and layer. I'm going to use some of the 2024-2026 in color designer series paper. This is for each of the colors in 2 different designs. Well, I should say 4 different designs, 2 different ones though, because there's 2 on each side. So you get 4 designs, but only 4 sheets of paper, 6 by 6 in each of the 5 new in colors. And so this happens to be Summer Splash, which is one of my all-time favorites. And let me grab it here. I'm going to go ahead and just assemble it. I'm going to attach it to my Summer Splash cardstock. So let me tell you the measurements quickly. This one is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, and then this is 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. And somehow it doesn't seem to be lining up. So what did we do? Sometimes we have to get our trimmer out. Somehow I did the 3 on this one. So yes, we need to grab and do a trim. Grab that my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine while I'm at it here. So I did 3 inches on this, and that is going to be far too wide for us to use. So put this and set it aside. We'll use that piece somewhere else later. Never know when you might need your trimmer. So put it on here, and this one I'm laying on fairly straight. Make sure my measurements are correct on this one. I knew I needed my, yep, this one's a little wide. So I think we're fine. I'm going to go ahead and lay it on. Things you get to do when you're running around. So I'm going to then attach this on my note card at an angle. I don't want it on straight, I want it at an angle. I will note that you're not going to receive in my project packets the embellishments. That's something you'll need to add on, and it's a great thing to add to your $35. But it's difficult, and then you'll have all of the colors. I mean, and I'm only using 2 different packages of gems, so I'm kept it really pretty reasonable. So I've got my note or my layer there at an angle, and then I've got another piece. This is the basic white. This is not basic white thick. This one is 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. And I'm going to pull out some basic gray. I like basic gray. It works real well for the purposes that we're going to do here. And I really liked this, you make me feel like glitter in the sun. Such a fun phrase. And so I'm going to grab just a block. Doesn't really matter which block I'm using. I'm going to use this, and I believe is our E block we've got, and Stampin' Up got rid of a number of them. So I'm going to come in on this side, and I'm going to put it toward the right. Okay. And then I'm going to clean my stamp. It's the only time I'm using this particular stamp. And you still need the block, and I still need the basic gray, because I'm going to take this cute little, well, I don't even need this big a block. It seems too big to me. And see, is he perfect for this one? Yes. I'm going to take and pull out, which one's this? This is the C block. And I want to put my guy up in the upper right. Yeah, up about like so. Okay. And then I'll clean. It's important to keep your blocks clean, your stamps, excuse me, clean. And there's a number of ways you can do that. I like the Stampin' Scrub, but there are other options. And see, I don't need this particular stamp set or stamp pad anymore. I will, however, need our Summer Splash. Summer Splash is, again, one of our new in colors. It's my favorite of the in colors. I'm going to set this kind of just out of the screen a little bit. And I'm going to grab, there's 2 different wing spans. One's for the smaller and one's for the larger. So I'm going to grab my block. This is called second generation stamping. It's a simple technique. I'm going to ink up my stamp, and I'm going to stamp it off once. And by doing so, it lightens the color. And I'm going to come in and get a nice inking on my 2-step stamp. I'll clean this block from the blocks, because the next time we use it, it's going to be a different color. I just keep some of our simple chamois, and I keep it in a baggie, and it keeps it moist, which for me works well. It may or may not work that way for you, and it's okay to let them dry out. And then I'm going to ink up again the larger of the wing spans, and you need to make sure that it's kind of at the right direction. I did notice it does seem to have a right angle, and if you need to, you can stamp it and then come up and do it again. I think here we go, yeah, like so. And that gives me 2 colors, but with only using 1 color of ink pad, which I think is pretty cool, and we're going to keep doing that. I'm going to grab out my baggie again, clean up my ink or my stamps. Okay. And I'm going to need the stars. So there's these little stars. And I'm going to put away a block, trying to keep this fairly simple. I'm going to pull it on here. Okay. There you go. And I'm going to do second generation stamping again. I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to kind of angle it behind those words. Do it again, because I don't want too much. It can be too dark. And then I'm going to do it one more time, and this time I'm going to come over here. I want just a little bit, like it's almost floating in the glitter. And then I can put this color away. I've got one more thing I'm going to do before I start stamping with, or start assembling. So I'm going to grab our crushed curry. It's a nice deep yellow. I need this one for the moment, so we'll put it over here. And I'm going to grab what I'm calling the sun ray. So the radiation of the sun. There's a center, and then there's the radiation of. And I'm going to pull open my crushed curry. This is an older styled pad, but it's still a current color. And before I go there, almost started to, I have cut a mask. And you can do mask with either our masking paper, or you can use Post-it note, and I happen to have the Post-it note handy. So I stamped the wings, actually I stamped the whole dragonfly, then cut out just the wings, and I'm going to put it here just to cover it up. This is another old technique, but that's just so that I don't muddy up with the sun rays into the wings. And so I want to ink up, and I want my wings to kind of poke from behind the sun. And then I'm going to pull open and pull off. And you can reuse your masks. I tend to keep them just in the inside of my stamp case. I find that's real helpful. And so then for this card, that's all of our stamping. Now, I am going to, though, continue to embellish a little bit before we put this on. So let's see here. Let's clean that up. We will need them again. What I want to do is I want to bring out our Wink Stella. It's something that I kind of have tended to ignore lately. It might be in part because it's oftentimes been out of stock, but it's very popular. So I'm going to come in, and I want to just lightly, and you won't maybe see it on camera, but it lightly puts just a little bit of glitter right where those sun rays are. I'm going to make sure I don't have any color bleeding through that, because then I want to come in and I want to add a little bit of glitter on my dragonfly's wings. And you could come in and do little dots even on the stars, just so that all of this stuff that kind of shows has a little bit of glitter that pulls out. Just kind of fun to have. So get a little closer to the camera so that you can see kind of how pretty it is. And I don't know, again, it's a little hard to see the glitter. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to angle this on my card front. So I'm going to grab out my Stampin' Seal again. You might be more fond of using our liquid glue, and that's a great option for sealing things up as well. But I'm going to angle it the opposite direction here. So it's a simple design, and I really kind of love it. And so I'm going to pull it over here just like so. Give it a nice press. I'm going to leave the inside open. Could put a sun, could do all kinds of things. We will decorate our envelope. But before I'm done, I want to pull out some of our special gems. So these are the 2024-26 in color shimmer gems. We have a couple different gems that coordinate with our new in colors. And I love my take your pick tool, so I got to grab out my take your pick tool. I love to use the putty end for when I am adhering my gems. And so I want to make sure to use the Summer Splash. I'm going to crumb, whoops, I get them stuck somewhere else. I'm going to put one up here. And I'll use the larger of them, and I think I'll use a second larger one, and I'm going to put it over here, and then I'm going to grab one of these tiny ones and just kind of come up. Isn't that fun? It's just kind of fun. And again, we're going to use those again, so I'll just set them out of the way. And then we want to decorate our envelope. And I could see where you could make a whole set of 20 cards with envelopes. You could even split it up, you know, 4 each. Have 5 different packages. Maybe you have them split, maybe you get 3 or 4. You know, it's up to you kind of how many you want to do that with. But so much fun. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a couple different things. I want to use my sun again. And get a nice starburst. You could choose to put anything you'd like on this. I'm going to just take the sun center and put it on the other side, just to show that there really are multiple ways with minimal. So give me a nice sun there. That's awesome. I'll get that cleaned in a moment. And then, let's see, where did I shove my, I think I shoved the stars back in. All kinds of things you could put on there. We're going to use the rainbow here after a while. You could use dots all over that. I think could be fun too. Hadn't thought about that one yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab those stars. I'm going to open up my Summer Splash. And we're going to do some second generation stamping again because I don't want it too strong. But I want it to kind of come maybe over on this side. I like that. Just to have some interest on my envelope. But can't you see how that would be so much fun? So that is card number 1. So much fun. Get it out of the way so you can see here. So then we're going to move on to card number 2. So again, I'm going to get this here. You may not be able to see it. I'll pull it closer before we're done. So I'm going to grab card number 2. So card number 2, super simple. Super, super simple. And some of it I've already taken care of. So I've got a half a sheet of basic white thick cardstock. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at in the half along the 8.5 at 4 1/4. I'm going to fold it over, and I always use my bone folder. It gives me a nice crisp fold without having any finger marks that are, you know, especially if you have colored nails. And we're going to set it aside. And I want to do some embossing on this piece. This is Berry Burst, and we're going to use one of the brand new 3D embossing folders. These are super jumbo. You see the difference in size. This is a half-folded card, and I could have 2 of these on one of these embossing folders. This is the dotted circles. So I'm going to grab out my machine. I do need the large machine for this. So I had grabbed it when I got up a minute ago. I'm going to open it up, and we're going to stack our machine. So I need just the base plate 1. They're numbered. Lay it on there. I'm going to grab that 3D embossing folder. I want it with the fold to my left, and I want the Stampin' Up facing me. And then I'm going to put this one in. You could do it however you wanted. You could have halves and halves. You could see how you could easily do that. We're going to go ahead and just stick it right in the middle. Going to fold it. Looks pretty straight. Because it's circles, I'm not sure we'd know if it wasn't. Line it up there. And then I need plate number 4. Plate number 4 is an additional plate here. It goes on the top, and then I'm going to run it through my machine. I just need to do it once. There we go. And I won't need it again because I've already pre-done everything else, but I knew I needed that. I may or may not have to cut anything else. Did I mention the other parts I'm using with this? So I've got a couple circle punches, and I'm also using the Stylish Shapes dies. I put mine on magnetic sheets, but the Stylish Shapes dies. So I'm keeping it pretty simple this time. So here is our stitched, our dotted circles, and how pretty it is. It's nice and deep embossed. Just adds that extra little something. And so we'll put this out of the way, and then we can attach. There's a lot of things we can attach, and then we can start stamping. So I'm going to grab my stamp and seal. Again, that is my preferred method most of the time, but there are times you need something different. So this was a 4 by 5 1/4 before we embossed it. Pull it here. So I've got my card, kind of basic. You could just stick a greeting on here and make it super simple. But I've already punched from, let me grab my instructions just so I know I've got everything the way I'm telling you. So this is the 3rd smallest circle. Oh, no. Yes, and then this is the 4th smallest. So if you were thinking in order of smallest to largest, this would be the 3rd smallest, this would be the 4th smallest. And so I'm going to go ahead, and I've got to stamp on here as well. And I want to grab, while I'm doing so, we may have to decorate this envelope too. I will want the greeting that's the birthday greeting, which is wishing you the happiest birthday. And we're going to use Shy Shamrock, which is again one of our new in colors for this year. And so, showing you some dry embossing. It's so much easier than it was years ago when you used those brass plates, although those were kind of fun. I want to make sure I clean that smudge into the very well inked ink pad. So I'm going to stamp here. You're going to get yours already punched out so that you don't have to worry about if you had this circle or not. So, oh, isn't that pretty? Nice and pretty green. Going to be great come our I can't even think today when we St. Patty's Day. So I want to grab centered as well as I can. When you already have it punched, it does kind of help. So here we go. I kept a wing on it. It kind of helps when you're punching stuff. So now we can attach here. And what am I missing? I think I am missing something, so we'll have to look and see. Grab a piece of paper. I think I forgot to add a circle in here. So this one then gets layered on that 4th smallest Shy Shamrock. I've got the smallest one here. I still need, I don't think it's inside my envelope. Nope, it's not in there. Let me grab it. That's how this works sometimes when you're in the middle of stuff, right? I will make sure yours are not missing anything. It makes it to you. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to stamp that dragonfly again. And I'm going to stamp it using Tuxedo Black Memento ink. So we're going to clean my block, move it over. Are you a fan of our photopolymer stamps? That's what this particular stamp set is photopolymer. And I was holdout when they first came out for us, but I will admit that I am more and more of a fan all the time. So I'm going to come in on this end and stamp that. I will get it cleaned, and then I won't need this pad for a while. I will need my Berry Burst ink. And so we're going to use those lovely little wings again. And so what I want to do is I want to grab my Berry Burst ink and I want to ink up full strength those wings and make sure I've got them kind of in the right direction. Like I told you, they really do have a one-way kind of way to stamp them. So got them there. Okay. I may just want to, even though it's going to dry out, I may just want to leave it out like so. And then I need the little wings. And on my sample, I had done them the straight same way. I think I'm going to show you both ways. You can do it that way. I want to take off a little and have it the two-toned. I kind of really liked how that looked. So I've got that cleaned, and you could put antennae. I'm gathering that that's what these are. Would be so you could have little antennae coming up, but we're not going to use that. That seems weird to me. So then I need to punch that out. So I've got for that 2-inch circle punch again. You would have yours already. So I'm going to line it in there. I tend to use my punches upside down just so I can see what's in here. So I'm going to punch that one out. That's going to come up here. I'll set that aside in case I need it. And then we need to stamp that sun on this one. So I'm going to grab the whole starburst. I will want that crushed curry. And we're going to grab it here and set it in the center like so. Get that cleaned, and then I'll want the inner part of the sun, the hottest part. I'm going to stick it in the middle. How well did we do? Not too bad. It's going to have some character. So I'll grab that, and then I can put this one together, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. So to put my stamps or my card together, I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals. When you're using something so thick as our 3D embossing folders, you really do need something pretty sturdy to hold it down. Multi-purpose liquid glue works real well for that, but so does our Stampin' Dimensionals. And so I'm going to take and put my dragonfly on first, and I want it up on that upper left corner, and I'm going to turn him just a little bit. Why I have dragonflies be hymns, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and put 3 more dimensionals on the back of my layered greeting, like so. And then I'm going to offset that greeting on top of my dragonfly. So I'm going to come here, and it's going to set like so. So it's offset just a little bit. I need, again, a few more, because this is going to get offset on top of my greeting. And you probably could do less than 3. I just like 3s work well for me on the circles. So like so. And then I'm going to take my sun and I'm going to tip it so that it's kind of over on the other side down below. Kind of a fun pattern of how that all goes. Then I want to do something on the inside, and we'll put something on the envelope. So I want to put a greeting on the inside, and I loved that "You're the Best." Thought that was one of the best ones I could use. And we're going to pull out that lovely Shy Shamrock again. It wasn't one of my favorites when it came, but I am learning to love it a whole lot more. So I'm going to come in here, come grab it right in the center. And then that seemed maybe a little plain. And so I'm going to clean that up. We won't need more Shy Shamrock, but I will want my Berry Burst. And so I'm going to open up Berry Burst again. And I liked these little angled arrows. You'll kind of see it when it gets inked up. It's almost easier. So you see how it gets. I'm going to come in and I'm going to put one down at this corner. And I'm going to put one on the other corner, so the opposite corner. So up here, like so. So that this is my inside greeting. Kind of thought that was kind of a fun card. And we're not quite done, but I think what we'll do to decorate my envelope is I'm just going to come in and I'm going to put some of these just down on the corners. So you probably will have something up here in the upper, and we already know we're going to have a stamp, a postage stamp on the other side, but I think you could put it down below. So we're going to kind of just come in like so. Wouldn't that be fun? I think that could be fun. So simple, simple. We just need one more little thing. We need to do a little bit of Wink of Stella. And we need to do our gems. And so let me grab Wink of Stella. I'm going to let this set here just a minute. I'm going to come in on the lighter color of the wings and do those first. Then I'm going to make sure I've got it kind of cleaned off. And I want to not keep it there too long. What you'll figure out about Wink of Stella is you can actually watercolor with Wink of Stella. And I'm cleaning in between just so I don't muddy any of these colors. So I'm doing just like before. I'm grabbing just a little bit along the sun rays. Isn't that fun? That on its own would be a cute card. But got one more thing I want to use. I'm going to use the Tinsel Gems 4-pack. And I thought these look real cute. This is Berry Burst. Again, I want to grab my Take Your Pick tool. You're going to want this. If you don't have a Take Your Pick tool, you've got to pick one up. It's a $10 purchase. And then you can buy refills of all of our putty so that you have some around. I'm just going to stick one gem, one of the larger ones there. And I think I'll just do a couple of the tiny ones. So I tend to like 3s. If you know me very well, you figure that part out. I'm almost always doing something in 3s. And I think I'll stick one. I don't know, let's stick one in the middle here. Kind of something fun like this. You could put more. They're going to be your gems. You can do what you like. So fun, fun, fun. So that was card number 2. Hopefully you are having so much fun making all of these fun cards. So we are ready to rock it on to card number 3, which I really think is my favorite. So card number 3. Here we go. Are you ready? Hopefully I'm not moving too fast for you. So I'm going to pull out our supplies. Got some stuff here. A lot of it I've already done. Again, I've got your envelope. Got a peach pie. Again, one of our new in colors. Our new in colors are beautiful. And if you've been to the store, you've seen them in a lot of things. Stampin' Up's just so forward thinking. And they think ahead of what the trend is, and our new in colors truly are on trend, and they're around for 2 years, so you get them not only this year, these colors, but they'll be around next year, and we'll get a new set of colors. So there's 2 that kind of offset a year at a time. So this was a half sheet, 8.5 by 5.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4 along that 8.5 side. Used my bone folder. Then I have a second piece of peach pie. Makes you hungry just thinking about it. About that time, peach season. This piece is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, so that there's a little more space around both. And then I've got a piece on the inside that's very similar, but I'm going to put this away because I need that cute little dragonfly again. And we'll use them on this side. So I'm going to pull a blotter paper If you have any of our grid paper, that works really well too. And I have some, I just didn't pull it out. So I'm going to grab my peach pie ink. And just so you know, you could use Versamark and get a tone on tone. It won't be quite as dark. But we're going to make our own background with this plain piece. And so I'm going to take peach pie ink on peach pie cardstock, and I'm going to kind of think in thirds. So I'm thinking triangular as I'm stamping my dragonfly. I almost called him a butterfly. My dragonfly, to kind of get a random without being random look. I think I need something over here. So there we go. Look how that looks. Nice, fun, simple background. You could do more. We'll clean that one up. Then I have one of the stitch circles from Stylish Shapes, and this one happens to be the fourth smallest circle. Again, if you're thinking from the smallest going to the largest. And then I'm going to put this ink pad away for the moment. We will pull it out in a minute. And I'm going to need our Memento ink again. So I'm going to stamp that cute little dragonfly right in the middle of that stitched circle, like so. Clean that up and put him away so that I keep everything together. It's important to keep your stamps clean. It's important to keep your space kind of picked up enough that you cannot lose things. So then we're going to do some simple blending with our blending pens. So these are our Stampin' Blends. They come in a 2-color pack, a light and a dark of each color that's available. It's not all of them, but a lot of them. And so I'm going to start with the dark. I prefer to go dark to light. And so I'm going to use the dark, and I'm going to come in up here and around and do the same thing on this side and around. You don't need a lot. You don't even have to use both. I'm going to come in with a light, and I tend to use the bullet tip. I'm going to start where I already had colored, and I'm going to blend it toward what hasn't been colored. And it is an alcohol-based marker, and so it blends really, really well, and it spreads quite a bit. So you don't need to get right to the edge. And you don't need to have it on there a long time either. These are pretty small openings. And you'll kind of note that as you do, it'll spread. It just gives you a really professional looking finish. No lines. Then I'm going to follow that with the peach pie. And again, there's a dark and a light. And so we're going to start with the dark. And I'm going to do the dark closer actually to the blue. This is Misty Moonlight that I colored a minute ago. I'm going to come in like so. Even if you don't like to do a lot of coloring or any coloring, it's really simple and it's so fast. So you could, and honestly on this one, you could just stamp it in a color and it'd be fine. So then I'm going to grab, kind of pull it toward, do kind of the same thing here. I'm going to grab and pull it toward, and I just want to color in that other, so that I get different colors. I didn't want them to be the same this time. So I've got that ready, but we need to layer it. And so to layer it, I'm going to use our 2 3/8 inch circle punch. It was in our annual catalog last year, and it did carry over. And so I'm going to take a piece of our Misty Moonlight, and I'm just going to punch. Get that ready. Put it away. Then I can layer these two together. So I'm going to grab my Stampin' Seal, put it onto that piece of Misty Moonlight, like so. Oh, isn't that cute? I'm telling you, you're going to want this stamp set. It's a really good deal as well. Super fun. So Now I've got this banner. So these banners are on in that same die set. We're going to use the larger and the smaller to kind of get a two-tone. So I've already cut them. What I want to do is stamp my greeting on the white, the larger of the two. And the one I'm going to use, the greeting I'm going to use, is one that says, "Thinking of you today and every day." And you could put "Happy Birthday" on the inside of this one. Wouldn't that be fun? Because you could be thinking of people on their birthday. And you could put this on the inside of the birthday. So we're going to stick it right in the middle using that peach pie. It sets it off really nice. Okay, put that away. Then put my pad away so I'm not stamping something into it. Then what I want to do is I want to cut this little one in half. So I'm going to grab out my paper snips. Come here, like so. Kind of stuck, like so. So I've got 1/2 and 1/2. Then I'm just going to turn over and I'm going to put a little bit of Stampin' Seal. You could use our multi-purpose liquid glue. That works as well. Then I'm going to grab these and I'm going to put this on the other side. I'm going to offset it so that I have just a little bit. See, I don't need it to be as long. It's narrow, so it sits underneath there, which I think is a fun technique. And keep it about the same on both sides, like so. Then I need some dimensionals on the back of that. So here we go. I'm going to put one here. You could use the minis, you could use the large, it really doesn't matter. Like so. You could put one in the middle. You don't need more. So we're going to start assembling. I want this layer to go onto my card front using dimensionals. So we're already using a lot of dimensionals, but I only need one in each corner. Technically, I don't even need a whole one on each corner, but we're just going to put one. It's easier. If you want to be conservative, you can cut them. It works. Grab that, throw those over. Probably find them everywhere. Do you find dimensionals everywhere? Tend to find them everywhere. So I want to hover this over, make sure that I get it centered onto the front of my card. Like so. Okay, so my dragonfly is going to go down first, and it's going to go down flat. I don't need it lifted up. We've got enough already going on here. So I need a little bit of adhesive. We're going to turn it, and we're going to stick it over here. So it kind of offsets between all of those other little dragonflies. Like so. I'm going to pull the backings off of these dimensionals. And I want this to kind of sit on top. So we're going to come in like so. And, oh, that's interesting. Came down. So then I've got something to go on the inside. And I think what I want to do for the inside is I'm going to keep it real simple. I want to come and grab, a dragonfly, like so. Just nothing too fancy. And I may choose to leave the inside kind of blank. Because then I could choose to have that just be a thinking of you card, or I could choose to have another birthday greeting. I could just say happy birthday. I could omit part of, which I'm not sure. We could even show you how we could do that. That could be kind of cute. Let's think about that. How would we do that? I didn't bring a Misty Moonlight pad, but I'll kind of show you on the back of here. I don't think I'm going to put it on mine. We will. Ooh, I didn't think about here. We need to have this out. So I'm going to grab that again one more time. I'm going to show you how I would do that. I'd want to put it in Misty Moonlight though if I was putting it on the front. So I'm going to come and grab one of those dragonflies, almost call them butterfly again, stick it here, just to keep them stamped. You hate to send them a envelope without it being hand stamped. Once people know you do stamping, they kind of think it should be around. So let me show you what I would do if I was going to do this with Misty Moonlight on the inside. I'm going to grab that greeting, and the very bottom of it, it's Happiest Birthday. And so I'm going to kind of come in. I don't know if I can get this done without inking everything up. May not be able to, but I'm sure going to try because it is photopolymer. You can see where the edge of the stamp pad is and where it isn't. And so I could ink it up, oops, and go like so. And it almost had all of Happiest Birthday that I could then stick on the inside of my card. So I think if I had my Misty Moonlight pad right here, I think that's what I would do. The other thing you can use is our Stampin' Write markers. That makes it super, super easy to do omitting, where you only have some of the stamp that you're using. That is almost, and I say almost because guess what we forgot? We do not have our gems. So we're going to pull them out again. I have slit the bottoms of all of my, I'm not sure who suggested that, it wasn't me, so that I can slide these in and out. It's real easy for me. I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool again, and I'm going to grab 3 gems. You could do more. I think I want one here. I want one maybe up here. And let's do a couple. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe let's do one over here, like so. Do 3. I like 3s. I'm going to set this out of the way again. Now, minus our Wink of Stella, because again, it's a Winky, if you haven't called it that before, and it shows really well on top of our Stampin' Blends. So I think you can kind of see if I can get it close enough. I think maybe it gives it a little shimmer into there. Just a fun, fun, fun card. So that is card number 3. We are coming down to the end here. Card number 4. Fun, fun, fun. So I have a couple things here. So I've got my card base, which is again basic white thick, 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4 along that 8.5 side. I'm going to fold it along that score line. You want that bump to be facing you and fold it onto that bump. I'm going to fold it over and use my bone folder to get a nice crisp score. And that is ready to go. We're going to have this one be more of a horizontal. And so, a couple things we're going to do. I want to heat emboss on this. And so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our new Wow embossing. They're the basic embossing. And I'm going to stamp on here with the So Excited for You, which mine's pink because I used it in pink. Photopolymer stamps will take on the color of reds specifically, and dark pinks, your purples. Some of those they will do. So I'm going to pull this one out. I'm using the additions, the embossing additions kit to show that, which comes with an embossing buddy. It comes with a brush, and this isn't the one, this is an old one. I can't find where I put my new one. And a tray that unscrews on one end so that you can brush out all of the powder that you collect. And then it comes with, I think the best part of all, comes with some locking tweezers, which has been great for using for tying bows, of all things, especially if you got arthritis, which I've got a hand that's becoming arthritic. So what you do is you're going to use this buddy and you're going to just slide it across the top, and that's going to take care of any of the oils that might be in hands when they're cutting and assembling and touching and all the things that go along with heat embossing. Then I'll need my, grab out these last colors here. I need my Versamark ink. Versamark ink is it's a watermark ink, but it also works well for heat embossing because it stays wet longer. So I'm going to ink up my So Excited for You, and I've got my ruler out here because I want this over about 3/4 of an inch, and I want it down about 2 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to kind of eyeball how far I want it here, and then I want it to come over. So it's got to come over here. So I want it, and I'm going to just assume that I want it about there. So I've inked up that. You notice it's watermark looking. And then I'm going to put it into my my embossing powder. And I keep mine in sandwich tubs just because they've been easier for me to use, and tap it like so. Then I would get out my heat tool, which I've got sitting here. Let me close up my pad and turn it on to the hot. And I'm only going to do part of it here. I just kind of gave it the extra oomph that it needed. So you'll start to see, I'm going to stop it because I already have one done. You can kind of see the difference that this side is still pretty matte, and here it's starting to get shiny. And that allows me, so I'm going to set that away, put my stamp pad away, my stamp. Okay, and then I've got one I've already done that's sitting right here, ready to go. So we're going to put that away. Put away the greeting, and then we're going to stamp. I've got 3 of these cute little squares. These are the smallest of the squares in the Stitched Shapes dies, and we're going to have fun with that sun. So I'm going to grab the 3, put them on my blotter paper, just a scratch piece of paper, nothing fancy, and I'm going to open up Crushed Curry again. And that sun. So I'm going to grab this sun image, and I'm going to ink it up. And the first one I'm going to do, I'm going to come as if the sun were getting ready to go up. And so I'm going to put it could have been over here. I'm going to choose to put mine down in the bottom, like so. The next one, and I'm just going to keep doing this with this stamp because it makes sense. The next one I'm going to do comes right in the middle, so. The last one I'm going to do, I'm going to put up on the other end so that I've got it kind of moving across. So I'm going to clean that part up. We will probably want that later for the inside, but that's okay. And maybe for the envelope. So then I'm going to grab, I want my sun. That one's ready. I'm going to put one in the center of here. That one's almost ready. And then on the last one, so that I've got it like so. Isn't that fun? I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. So, got 2 other little things, super, super, super fun, that we're going to do. One of them is these cute little rainbows. So, I'm going to grab the largest of the bow. That's what I called it. I'm not sure what you'd call it. And I'm going to grab out Melon Mambo, which is what color this cardstock is. It's Melon Mambo. And I'm going to grab it on this last one, and I'm going to stick it almost centered. It'll kind of look as though that sun is shining through it, which is fine. Clean that up. We won't need Melon Mambo, at least yet. We will need it in a minute, but we don't need it yet. I want that second bow of the rainbow. This one I'm going to do in that Summer Splash. I'm going to grab Summer Splash. It's going to come right in the middle, like so. Clean that up. We won't need Summer Splash again. Put that away. And we're going to need this little itty bitty, and I do mean it is so itty bitty that it almost gets lost. So you got to be real careful with this tiny one. See how small that is? Super, super small. Open it up, and I'm going to stamp that one right in the middle. This is with Gorgeous Grape. So I've got my 3 rings of my rainbow, like so, and then I need, there's this greeting called Hey, which is fun. All it says is Hey. So I put it here. So I've got my 3. We don't need this blotter piece anymore. Get that out of the way. Big old mess I'm making, but that's okay. You will have had a scrap. Oh, yeah, I do have one here. So I gave you just a little square of cardstock, some basic white. I'm going to stamp that Hey onto there. Isn't that fun? Clean that up. I used all but I think maybe 2 of these stamps. Actually all but 1. I really did use all but 1. So fun. I'm going to take out my paper snips again. What I want to do is come close. So it's super simple. I'm just going to snip across. Let me clean these very well. They're a little sticky. Come up. I want to come up this way. Okay. And I want to come one more. And we'll brush that off and do better. So, like so. You don't have to be fancy. They're super straight cuts. Let me grab, where did I get it here? So there we are. There's the Hey. There's more we could use later. Certainly a great use of all those scraps. I want my multi-purpose liquid glue, and I want just a teeny bit of it. Get it going here. There we go. It's enough. Just to hold Hey. Not upside down. That would be silly. Over here on the side so that it's hanging off. Kind of liked how that looked. All I need on these then is a dimensional on the back. Come right in the middle of it. I keep all kinds of sizes in my stamp table. So come here, like so. I've got those 3 ready, but I'm going to start with that middle one. You could be super anal with this. That, you know, I tend to be, just so you know. I'm going to come and figure out what about halfway is. Okay, doesn't have to be exact, but I want it to be about halfway. If you wanted to be exact, you would measure. You could use your pencil, make little marks. Then I'm going to take and go on the other sides. I want it about a 1/4 inch away from each other. Again, about. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing, about a 1/4 of an inch. The biggest thing is that they need to be the same. You don't want a big gap that's different between the 2. How are we looking there? Looks pretty close. Might be just a teeny bit off. Let's see if I can slide it just a teeny bit. Yeah, I think that works. You have a little wiggle. You don't have a lot. Okay, so I told you this is a pretty simple one. Then I need, again, some of those gems. And so I'm pulling out those Tinsel Gems 4-pack again. I know that these are Berry Burst, but look how close they match to our Melon Mambo. And you just really wouldn't even know that that's what these are. So I'm going to come, I'm going to put one over here, and I'm going to put a couple kind of around. I like to kind of put a couple up next to each other, and then I think I want one maybe up at the top. You can put them wherever you want. Again, you can put them everywhere else. They don't have to be right here. Isn't that fun? I like that. So I'm going to then put that on the front of my card. Again, I think then the inside of this one is pretty simple. So I really think I'm going to leave it pretty simple so that I can write. You can make a great congratulations card. Maybe someone did something, maybe they took a new job, or I think this would be a great job or a great card for something like that. and it allows you to write then what you'd like on the inside. But I do think we need something on our envelope, and since we've used that sun, I think let's do the sun one more time. I think let's put it in the back. Nah, we'll do it here. I know it's on the front, but and that it's crazy to have it that low, but we're going to do it anyway. So I'm going to grab this. Come to here, there we go. Just something super, super simple with those cute little sun. I just totally love this. Fun, fun, fun. That was card number 4. Super fast. I'm telling you, these are super simple, awesome techniques. Anyone can do them. And this stamp set is such fun. You can't live without it, I don't think. If you have friends that you just want to send something to that's just fun and happy, I think it's a great set for that. I think it's great for little kids, and I think it's great for older kids. Haha. So let me show you through those cards again. Again, if you place an order of $35 or more in my online store using my host code that I will list on my Facebook page, between the 21st, which was already this last week, through July 5th, get you a whole another week. I will, and you use that host code, I will mail you the card kit that has all of these projects prepped for you. You'll get an email right away, the tutorial, so that you can start making them even then. And again, you don't have to buy the Happiest Day stamp set for that $35. You don't have to buy the gems. You could choose your own things. If you want different colors, you could choose different colors. And I would recommend you pick up a pack of our note cards and envelopes. They are so easy to make up little packets of gifts. Wrap a little ribbon around a pack of 4 or 5. I think that would be so much fun. And you could do that in so many different colors. Can you think what that would look like with some of our in-color papers? I'm loving it. So again, kind of want to just go over, I've got online classes, free online classes coming the 4th Thursday at 2 p.m. Arizona time, which is right now Pacific. So July 25th is my next online class. It is going to be focused on Christmas, and I'm going to use one of the new suites that's coming out in our online exclusives that you can get starting on July the 3rd. So fun, fun stuff. The other thing to keep in mind, Bonus Days is coming starting July 3rd. So fun, fun stuff. I'm so thankful that you've joined me. And almost flipped over there a minute. See if we can get going. There we go. I'm so glad you joined me. If you have any questions, reach out. I look forward to hearing them and answering any questions that I can. And again, have a wonderful day and happy stamping.